Jade, a local high school student is sparking conversation among her peers, turning a class project into advocacy against human trafficking.
First Alert 6's Philip Katafimo shares her efforts to make a difference.
Millard West High School senior Brooklyn Vaughn stumbled onto a dark reality. While scrolling social media last July, a video came across her feed highlighting the reality of sex trafficking in Omaha.
I didn't realize how prevalent it was here in Omaha. It's in our community. It's under our roofs, it's in our homes, it's affecting ones that we love, whether we know it or not.
What she discovered changed her, and now she's working to change her school.
Not only am I doing this just as a project for school, but also as something for me. I feel responsible as using my own voice to spread awareness.
Human trafficking has made headlines across the metro in the last year. In August, the Omaha FBI field office uncovered a massive trafficking ring. 10 minors, some younger than 12 years old, were rescued from 4 metro hotels. Kids that could have been your neighbor, classmate, or child.
Back in 2018, we saw 3,200 missing reports for juveniles. I am happy to say that that number is decreasing. So in 2025, we saw about, I would say, 2,300 missing juvenile reports. That number is decreasing. As far as trafficking, we have worked with, I want to say, 58 confirmed juvenile victims, and that number does increase every year as we learn more about trafficking.
Since September, Brooklyn has been working with Project Harmony. She's using a school project as a way to spread awareness among her peers. In October, she organized a Wear Blue Day at Millard West. The reception was incredible.
Them coming up and talking to me about these issues was amazing. They for once, they were on their phones, or they weren't talking to their friends, they weren't trying to go to class, but they were kind of having a civil conversation with me about a real problem that they actually started caring about on that day.
This week, Brooklyn will host a showing of a documentary at Millard West. The film Missing, produced by Project Harmony, dives deep into survivor stories. Stories, Brooklyn says, have only furthered her mission of advocacy.
Hearing survivor stories, men, women, children, it doesn't matter, has only strengthened my want to promote this and spread awareness.
Her project will come to an end this spring. Brooklyn's example is that anyone, including you, can make a difference, and she hopes others will carry that message. Reporting in Omaha, I'm Philip Katafimo, First Alert 6.
The documentary will be shown for free this Thursday night at Millard West. We have more information about warning signs of human trafficking and resources with this story on our website, firstalert6.com.